apparently organising a kid's birthday party is up there with moving house or falling out with your partner, apparently. It's very, very stressful. And to talk about this is the writer of Tired and Tested, comedian, and no doubt the hardest job of all is mum of two as well. How are you, Sophie Mccartney? How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good, thanks. Yes, and I'm very, very, very tired and tested. I've got 3 kids now, actually. I've popped another one out, so I'm even more tired than what I normally have. I've got a 1-year-old to throw into the mix as well, so I'm a glutton for punishment, aren't I, really?
Oh, wow. So you are stressed and hard-worked and tired and all that kind of stuff that goes along with it?
All the time, and now I've got 3 kids to negotiate birthday parties for as well, so, you know. Yeah,
So tell us, Sophie, all about this then. Why is it so stressful for parents to organise a birthday party? Because there's one aspect I will bring up with you very soon.
Okay, well, do you know what? I think it's multifaceted, isn't it? There's just so many different layers and levels to the birthday party planning. And I think the main one at every parent's heart is that you want to make it this magical and wonderful experience so you can brag about it on social media, don't you? It's not about your kids, is it? Let's face it. At the end of the day, it's all about you putting on the best party so that other parents think that you're brilliant. And that comes a lot of pressure with that one. And I'm awful for. I've made a proper rod for my own back over the years. I have to make all of my kids' birthday cakes, and every year they get free license on what they want me to create, and I'm there on Pinterest till stupid o'clock in the morning trying to create these things. And my problem is that I massively overestimate my own cake making skills and experience, and what I think that I'm going to be able to produce is never actually what I do end up producing, and then it's never good enough to go on Instagram because it's terrible.
So it's all about keeping up with the old term is keeping up with the Joneses, isn't it? I want to do better than Billy or Joey's mum and dad over there.
I think so, because I've been having a good old think about this, because I was born in the 80s, and most of the birthday parties that I remember early 90s into the 90s, and we didn't have birthday parties like we do now. It was very much you had a couple of friends round to your house, you had some beige party food, didn't you? and you were delighted. You were delighted with that. There was no pressure to do anything else. Maybe if your parents were really extra, you went to a roller disco. Maybe they went a little bit wild. But there was no social media back then, was there? There was nobody to boast about, to your parties, so it didn't really matter. So I wonder whether that is now a massive impact on why us parents are just making life so much more stressful and difficult for ourselves. But there has been some research that's been done. This is, I think, you said you weren't quite sure where the news has come from. So there's been actual research that's taken place. Pizza Express did it, and they found all these stats out about how stressful parents find it. And it's like 3/4 of the parents asked said that they found planning their kid's birthday party more stressful than their day job. I mean, that's a lot, isn't it? That's a lot. But the impact that must have on your life.
That is crazy. Apparently 36% of people spiralling cost about doing that. You see, so I have a part to play in this, because I do actually do kids discos for birthday parties. Right?
You're part of the problem, aren't you? You're not part of the solution right now. You're part of the problem, Darren.
So as a radio presenter, I do discos and parties myself. So us DJs can be quite pricey, but we do keep the cost down for parents, because an average birthday party for a disco like myself will last about 2 hours. It's just 2 hours.
That's potentially that's good value for money, right? So that's all right. If you're there spinning your decks and doing a full set for 2 hours,
we do party games. We do party games, Sophie. So we do we do all the traditional party games.
You're the full package. You're the full package, and that's okay. I feel it's for the ones who maybe take advantage of situations. And I've been to a party with probably a 90-year-old magician who's just pulling random hankies out of places, and that parent has paid an absolute fortune, and all the kids are just ignoring him and just running around beating each other up with a sword that they've now made out of a balloon animal. And there's a few Queen Elsas crying in the corner while Spider-Man goes on the rampage. So you have seen that. You'll have seen that at the kids' birthday parties that you've been DJing at. It's pretty standard. Standard.
The other thing is invitation politics. Now, this is not just for kids' parties, is it? This could be for any age party. Do we invite that cousin that we haven't seen for 20 odd years as a grown-up? Do you invite that person who sits in the corner of the classroom, doesn't interact with my child, but because everybody else is coming, we have to?
It's very difficult. I think as an adult, you can get away with it more. You can be a little bit more brutal, can't you? With, there were definitely people that I didn't invite to my wedding. My rule was, if I haven't spoken to you in a year, then you ain't coming. Sorry, you can keep your tea towels and all the stuff that you would have bought me. But I don't need that in my life. If I haven't spoken to you recently, then you're not coming. You're not part of my life. A little bit different though, isn't it, with children and emotions? And I think as a parent, you feel very in tune with that because you know yourself. If ever my kids weren't invited to birthday parties when they were really little, you take it quite personally. You think, well, what's wrong with my child? Why haven't they been invited? And it does put your nose out of joint. And you do have to take a minute to rationalise and go, actually, no, if this is a free world. This child can choose whichever child they want to go to their birthday party. But, you don't want kids to be upset, do you? And as a parent, you don't want to, make a child feel left out. So you do then end up inviting the whole world, and it costs a blooming fortune.
Yeah, so I've got 5 kids, Sophie. I've got 5.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, so I've got teenager boys who are now in their late teens and early 20s. My youngest is Millie, who is 6. Oh, I can't believe it. Think about it. But anyway, 6.
You did well there. You did well to circa 6.
Yeah. So, what are your top tips for keeping the stress down and just having a great time along with the kids in organising a party?
I just think just outsource it. I think, as parents, there are lots of things that we are brilliant at. I think mainly, though, my main responsibilities as a parent of quite small children is just keeping them alive and imparting wisdom. That's, that's it. And the wisdom part is also quite minimal in there. But my skill set isn't organising kids' birthday parties. And I just think, there are other people out there who are better at doing that. And get it out of the house as well. People who have 30 kids to run riot in their house, no thank you. That's not the carnage that we need in our lives. Take them down to Pizza Express, get them to do their pizza making parties. That contains somebody else's responsibility. You can just sit in the corner, by the way, a fully licensed venue.
Oh yeah,
have a Peroni, have a pepperoni, and you can just watch, somebody else deal with all the kids flinging things around. And, they do the party bags, because I don't know about you, but you'd have known this 5 kids in. The party bag dilemma is just it's just unreal. And you spend so much money just putting a load of plastic tat in a bag, and full well those kids are going home, and that's just, it's just being emptied into another drawer that's got plastic tat in. They're never going to play with it, but you feel, don't you, like you've got to do it. And it's the keeping up with the Jones scenario of, well, such and such has all these party bags, and, we're going to have to throw a load of good stuff in as well. It's not just a bit of cake and a napkin, and off they go. It's all they need, isn't it? So I just think, scale it back, keep it low key, don't feel the pressure to invite the entire world. I think actually, when you sit down and talk to your kids and really ask them who their friends are, and I think this is a bit easier as they get older and they've really established their friendship group. And I know if I sat down and asked my 8-year-old now, she's probably got 4 or 5 friends that she will talk about and that she will actually play with. And at this age, they can take it a little bit more if they've not been invited to a party. So, if you don't need to invite 30 kids, don't invite 30 kids. Get it out your house, outsource it to somebody else, and just try and relax, because if you're relaxed, then your kids are relaxed, and then everybody has a nicer time, right? Nobody just wants shouty mummy, do they, in the corner, just trying to separate a Hunger Games style fight on the bouncy castle. It's just not fun for anybody.
I've got 2 more points to bring up before we leave it. The second point is the dilemma with the whole my child is allergic to everything you've put on for food. He or she can't have that because they're allergic to sugar, or they're allergic to anything that's a treat, or we're bringing my daughter up when I'm not actually bringing my daughter up, but somebody could say I'm bringing my daughter up as being a vegan and we've eliminated meat. So
and that is tricky, isn't it? Because I'm actually a very anxious parent, and the thought of if I had children coming to a party that I was catering for myself and I knew that they had allergens that could make them really poorly, I would be panicking about this. I'd be even though maybe it's a little ham butty that I've made, but I'll be thinking in the back of my mind, but did I put peanut butter in it?
Yeah.
I hadn't, and it sends me west. So again, just knowing that my kids were going somewhere that was professionally gated, and there are legal implications for not doing things properly with allergens. That's all safe and covered, don't you? But yeah, I've been to many a party where it's well, my child can't have juice, and you're like, oh, why can't they have juice? And then 5 minutes later, said child is running around on the rampage.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why they can't have juice.
Yeah, because they're allergic to water. Anyway, one thing before you go then, from a DJ's point of view, because you know, as I've said earlier, I do my own discos and parties for kids. Don't give the DJ, people like me, a Spotify playlist and then expect them to go through all of those hundreds of songs and make sure they don't swear in the songs. That happened to me literally 2 weeks ago on a Sunday afternoon. They went, can you just stick to my son's playlist? He's chosen the songs. I went, yeah, no problem. I'll put his playlist on. And it was all 50 Cent. And it was there was swear words and it was all
popping off into club, wasn't it?
Yeah, and whatever happened to Black Lace and Superman or Agadoo?
It's a classic. Tell you what, can you come and DJ my next birthday party? I think that we'd have a great time with that. It would be Ultimate Cheese, and we'll just be doing Agadoo all the time. Yeah, perfect. But there we are. Let's do it. So, Sophie, when you're next on telly, when you're next doing something in front of an audience, when can we catch you next? What's happening? Well, I mean, it might be a bit extreme for you guys, but I am going down to Australia next week for my the last leg of my stand-up comedy tour that I'm going down to. I'm not available for that. Not available for that one. I appreciate for listeners that's a stretch, isn't it? And then after that, I'm going to be coming back, and then I'm doing the Edinburgh Fringe. So if anybody fancies a little jaunt up to Edinburgh, I'm going to be there for a little stint, and then that's all kind of work in progress for preparation for the next big thing, which is next to be announced. But watch this space for that. But yeah, I was just kicking about on social media. You can find me just lurking about on Instagram on any given day, tired and tested. If you're interested, very on brand with how I feel as a parent on most days. Fantastic, Sophie. Thank you very much for your time, and have a great trip down under. Thanks, I will.